Hello and welcome to the video lecture on complicated SQL queries 2. So in this case, the second example that the author wants us to do is we want to write an SQL query to list all the salespeople who work in the territory where the most end tables have been sold. So we have to start off by finding the territory where the most end tables have been sold. So we're going to start by using the top keyword. So if we select top 1, so that means we're going to get the number 1. Why am I having end? I'm going to select the top 1 territory ID. So in this case, I'm going to alias the territory table to be T. Okay. From, and this is where we get into a very complicated join, because we have to go. In order to do this, we're going to do territory to does business in, from does business in to customer, from customer to order, and from order to order line, and then from order line to product. So got a lot of joins to do. So how many join conditions do we need? We have 1 table, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tables. So there's 6 tables, so we should have 5 join conditions. So we can pretty much start out with 5 parens then, can't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. The author does his joins a little differently. What are you going to do? So territory T, aliased as T, that's inner joined to does business in T, which is going to be DBA, or DBI actually, does business in. The on is going to be, let's see, what do we got, territory ID? Territory ID to territory ID. So T dot territory ID. Doesn't look like, but it is. Equals DBI dot territory ID. Surround that with a paren. Then we're gonna inner join that to customer. Alias to C, on C dot, is it customer ID to customer ID? It is. C dot customer ID equals DBI dot customer ID, and that with a paren, right? So there we got a second closed paren. That is going to be inner joined to order, alias is O, on C dot customer ID equals O dot customer ID. There's our third closed paren, right? So order, right? Customer ID to customer ID, and then we've got order T, stop that. Going to inner join that to order line table, order line T, so aliased as OL, on OL dot order ID is equal to O dot order ID. Starting to see the use of the aliases, right? So that's our fourth closed paren, and then we're going to inner join that to the product T table. Going to alias as P, on P dot product ID equals OL dot product ID, and there's our fifth closed paren, right? But we're not done yet. Let's run that first, make sure that runs. Good. And the territory ID we get back is number 1. But that is before we use a where clause. I just wanted to run that to make sure I didn't misspell anything, so at least this way I know from here on out. If I get any errors, it's from here on out. So I'm going to do where the product description. Description equals end table. Let's check that. Get nothing. So let's check our product table, and we've got nothing that says end table. I love when that happens. So let's do this. Let's do a product description. Let's sort this by product description so we can see. See, here's bad data. Right there. That's an example of bad data. We can't have blank product descriptions. That's ridiculous. So let's see. Who's been a lot of things. There's not a lot of data in here. I guess we could use the 48-inch bookcase. I'm going to copy that. We're going to make some changes. Finding all sorts of errors with this stuff. So there's our 48-inch bookcase. Let's run that, make sure we get data. There's territory 3. I love the little bugle. But we used a, let's do this. We also want the sum of the ordered quantity. Right, here's our ordered quantity as top sales. And we can't do that without our group by clause. So we want to group by T dot territory ID. And of course, if we're going to do a top, we need the order by clause. So we want to order by top sales. Another error in the book. Alright, so let's run that. It doesn't know where top sales is. I did call it top sales. So let's just say 2. Make it easier. Right? So we've got our top sales. We got our territory ID. So right now we've got the territory where the most end tables have been sold. So now all we simply need is we need all the salespeople who work in that territory, right? So this will become our inner query. So I want to select the salesperson ID. Let's say SP dot salesperson ID, and I want the salesperson name. From territory T. Alias is T. Inner joined. Right, because what we're getting is the territory ID and the top sales. So now we have to use that to find our salespeople. So we're going to inner join that to salesperson T. Alias is SP. On T dot territory ID, right? Territory ID to sales territory ID. I knew it was different. Territory ID equals sp dot sales territory ID. See? And the author doesn't have that right there either. And then what we're going to do is going to have a where clause where the sp.sales territory ID is equal to the territory ID from this. Okay. From that. So we're selecting the salesperson ID and the salesperson name from the territory T, inner join salesperson T on the territory ID equals the sales territory ID, where the SP sales territory ID is equal to selecting the territory ID from that monster in the middle, and I'm going to need an extra paren at the bottom. I run that, and I get William Strong, and he's the only one. Alright, so let's I'll give you one last look at this. So I couldn't go directly, I couldn't say equal to this because in this SQL I'm actually getting 2 columns returned. So I couldn't just say directly from this inner query. I had to select the territory ID from this and then use this territory ID to equal that territory ID. And poof, I get my William Strong. Alright? That was a monster. Sorry, that took a while. But I hope you get the idea, and I hope you enjoyed that. And hopefully that'll make it easier for you to write more complicated SQL later on in your career.